That's what I was going to say.
If she did that herself or you directed?
No, that's what if you let me finish. I was telling you the story. And they talk and they talk and I let them talk. That's why I couldn't do this film. I would have loved to shoot in 60mm or 35, but there was no way I could because I needed takes of 28, 30 minutes. And they stop talking, and there's a silence. And I just say, oh, you really love him, don't you? And she does this. And he doesn't know what to do with this, and he goes like this, and that's it. And for me, it says everything. It says the complicity between this old man and this little girl. It says how he doesn't know how to deal with this effusion of tenderness. It says transmission, because when he stretches his legs, she looks at him and she does the same thing, you know? And sometimes I would do something like this and he would destroy everything. You know, sometimes he would create something, sometimes he would destroy things, but I had time. The little money I had, put in time.
Can
you repeat that again? The little money you had,
It bought me time. Yeah.
Because we had a huge conversation the first day. Tigran is here or not? Yeah. Regarding the budget, money, and shooting, and this and that. And can you explain why the big money, you have big money, it's less time?
No. If tomorrow, I mean, I really hope for my next film I'll have bigger money, but it will be more time. No, it's a system. It's got to do with producers.
Because there's some pressure.
No, it's got to do with producers. You know, me, when I got money from I got money for a short film from the CNC, and some from Arte TV. Of course, when you have money from the CNC, it's government money, so suddenly you have producer, they love you. Because it's not going to cost them anything. They take the money, you make the film. And me, I'm a pain in the ass, so I know I cannot deal with producers. There's no way I can. So, you know, I called my mom, I called this friend, she's a producer. Her mom is a complete freak of accounts, blah, blah, blah. And so let's do a company. So the mothers, they do all the really horrible work we don't want to do, the money thing. And we do, you know, the rest. Well, Sophie does the production. She's a really good, you know, production. But Sophie, I didn't have to explain how it was going to work. I didn't have to justify it. I mean, she didn't come. She came, you know, to have drinks because at one point it was my birthday, you know. So she let me work. She told me. And the thing is, if you get money, no matter how much money you have, a producer, if you tell him, I'm just going to go meet my friend who makes sound and we're going to, you know, there's no feuille de service, there's no schedule, there's no script, there's no nothing. Producer like hangs himself. He doesn't understand. So, you know, and it's just a system. It's a system, and the system fucks you up. I mean, that's, you know, I worked on other people's films, and I could see how. No, but I could see, like, you know, okay, I'm going to film you, and it takes 2 hours to do the light, blah 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 blah. And everybody's moving around, and there's like tons of energy going everywhere except where it's supposed to go. And you have assistants smoking joint at the back of the trucks, and you know, and producer on the phone going like this. and then you want to film this woman because suddenly she has this gesture, and you can't. You know me, I just take my camera and I film you. That's it. So it's a different way of, it's like documentary. It's documentary, except, you know, you build fiction, and fiction you build on the editing table.
How many takes you have on a scene when she's taking the blanket and putting to the mother? From the home, she takes them to take out.
It's 2 different places. When she's taking her toys like this, we did twice.
And with Kashmir,
and then she was bored, and that's it. The mother, we did 3 times. Because I told Marie, who plays the mother, I said, no matter what happened, you don't move, you're dead. And I told Kelina, I said, okay, you want your mother to read you the story again? And that's it. And there was no reaction. So the first time she left with the book. The second time, and I like that. I mean, for a long time I went from one to the other. And then the second time she threw it next to the mother. And the third time she was pissed off, so she threw it on the mother. And then she was laughing. But most of, like the scene with the rabbit, for example, it's one take. You can't, I mean, maybe if you redo it, it creates something else, I don't know. But I really believed in this instinct. Yeah, just not real, just instinct. Maybe if I had asked her again, you would have do something else that could be even more interesting, I don't know. But I really trusted this first.
Thank you for question here, then we will
It's
go
not a
back.
question, actually. I like your film and I want to say why I like it. The film is, for me, maybe you've done it for your own reasons. For me, is in a sense philosophical point of view about time, death. Because we as adults see the passage of time and the death differently than a child. For a child, everything is normal. Even if the mother is dead, it's normal. Somebody is dead, somebody is not dead, and I'm doing it. That's why I like this film, because it's not a point of view, you've staged it, but it's not a point of view of an adult. It's a point of view of a child. Mother is not there, she's not there. I continue my life. Mother's body is there, read me the book. No, don't do it. So, it's a very interesting point of view that we as adults think that children also think like us. If somebody dies, it's a tragedy. For a child, it's not a tragedy. Really, death doesn't mean anything for it. How old is she? 4. For a child of 4 years old, death doesn't mean anything. We have created this mystery around the death. I think I like this film because this is what the film tells me. And I really enjoyed it. I made the film like that.
So I want to see your film.
At the end, the 4-year-old child announces to his grandfather, they brought your cercueil. So it's normal. It's a cercueil. They bring it. I like that. That's why I think it's a philosophical. We can discuss it. Really, children see the life as we see it, or we give them this. There was no tragedy. At the point, I said, "Oh, it's cruel." And they said, "No, it's not cruel. It's normal. It's normal. She's 4 years old. If it was me, it was a tragedy." That's it.
Yeah, there was a question. Okay, Ira, then okay.
Actually, I want to ask something that is very interesting what you say, because I felt it's very interesting to see, like, we always adults will think that, okay, these are the kids and we're the adults. In your film, it's like the observations, the adults are observing the kids, and she's leading the film. Yeah? And like the mother.
It's very right. I mean,
yes,
that what really, a lot of, you always get someone somewhere in the world that says, "Oh, but I was expecting her to cry."
Yeah.
And I got so mad. I was in a really bad mood that day. And I said, "Oh yeah, you just want me to do a close-up so you can cry. It's your fucking projection. It's your problem. Leave me alone." And I was really rude to this poor woman. I'm sorry. But it's true. I mean, what he said is what the film is. It's, I think, all beyond the fact that death is a mystery. Death is taboo. We don't talk about it. With Kelina, before I confronted her to the dead rabbit, because there was something, one day we were, because there was no schedule, so we would do something, she would be tired, she said, oh, can we go for a walk? We would go for a walk. But everything was work, because we would go for a walk and we would talk. And, so she started asking me, she started saying, I don't have a father. I said, of course you have a father. You don't know him, he's not there, but you have a father. So she got pissed off at me and she said, where is your father? I said, my father's dead. She said, yeah, but where is he? I said, he's dead. Yeah, but where is he? I said, well, he's gone. His body doesn't exist anymore. He's in my heart, he's in my memory, he's in the heart and memory of lots of people. And depending on countries, you put the people in the earth, or you put them on a river, or you burn their bodies, or it depends. Where is he? And this lasted for a really long time. And 4 months later, we were doing something, and she stopped and she turned around and said, I know where your father is. I said, where is he? She said, he's in the forest in his new house, really far. We can't go. Only the fairies, they can go, but he's fine. So, voila. And the same thing with time. It's like time, some people said, oh, it's really boring because she plays, we don't care. It's like, yeah, but for me, it's like what's for you is going to be boring after whatever amount of minutes. For her, it can last forever because it's a whole world. It's the world. Playing with a pack of cigarettes, empty and crushing it is the world, and it can take forever because it's.
Actually, my question was, I realized you're also a cinematographer or partly, yeah? Was it a choice that?
Yeah, I have to. Otherwise, I don't understand.
To be close to her.
Not, yeah. No, but I don't understand. Really, I'm stupid. I can't. I need to. For me, maybe it comes from photography because I was, for me to photograph someone, even to photograph in the street, it's like, I don't know, it's like touching somebody, And I need this connection. If I don't have this connection, I don't understand. It's like a physical thing that I don't understand. Whether it's somebody or a space, it's the same thing.
Can I ask you how long it took, the shooting process?
The whole thing took 8 months. And shooting, I don't know, because it was never in continuity.
I understand. I just meant the process.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please.
Okay. Hi. It's hard, I think, not to interpret the little girl as imitating what's happening around her very often. And so, also in her dialogue at one point, it seems like she's imitating what potentially your parents had said to each other, possibly during a fight, possibly, I don't know. So I was just wondering, is that also your intention to show that, or?
But that's what it became in the editing table. The reality is completely different. When she's on the couch and she fakes that she's writing and she's inventing this date that it's a year before what we're doing, and she says cinema circus, and then afterwards when she says I'm tired of your bullshit, blah blah, that was the same moment. In reality, we were shooting just me and Olivier, who made the sound, for a while. And then because I had a small camera, when I went wide shot, it was really shitty, the definition. So I needed a bigger camera that I didn't know how to use at the time. Because now you can put the lens directly on the camera, so before you needed a machine, and then it was complicated. And I couldn't deal with the technical bullshit. I had other things to do. So we had 4 people come. So we went from 2 to 6. And I told Kevin, I said, okay, 4 people are going to come because we need a bigger camera, And so that morning, they came, and she burst out crying, and she said, I want them to go, they're ugly, I want us to do the film together, just you and Olivier, blah, blah, blah. And I was the adult, so I had to fake that everything was fine, but I was feeling the same way because we had this very quiet, intimate thing where everything worked. It was like jewelry, And I was really scared. And then Cinema Circus, it's because when we're in this garden in this house, just Olivier and me, I don't need to tell myself to not walk on the flowers. I don't walk on the flowers. when there's 4 people, I have to say, okay, wait, please be careful, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And it becomes like stupid to me. So it becomes a circus. For her, it's a circus. So she's taking the piss at me, she's mocking me. And then they're all like, I'm tired of your bullshit, she's pissed off at me. But then that's why, to me a film has to be found on the editing table. The script you take, you burn.
Yeah, sure, but I mean,
It's like
that's
sculpture.
part of the,
And then it becomes the mother words.
yeah.
The things about every mother say this, I'm tired of your bullshit.
Because the first time, watching it, I interpreted that as, how the parents may be impacted, which is maybe why they're separated, but maybe I'm taking it too far, and that's why I was wondering.
But there's no parents, there's only a mother.
But surely somewhere there's a father as well along the line, possibly they divorced, maybe he died, or whatever, maybe he's in prison. I mean, that was another layer through there. But that's why I was wondering, even in the editing room, on the editing table, where did you take where did you want this dialogue to move towards?
Because it's completely surrealistic. I mean, she goes from there and then she starts talking about, I'm not gonna sing your song, they say it's linked to shit to my singer. I mean, she's raving.
She's talking adult language, the
becoming,
kind of language that children wouldn't use in general, I think. The kind of like the for instance, bad language, which I think a lot of children.
I don't know where you're from, where I'm from.
To me, okay, maybe I don't know. I just kind of felt like this is really adult language, something like, and also throughout the film, she's
Tired of
imitating.
bullshit? I come to my village.
Okay, maybe I should. No, but also like throughout the rest of the film, she is constantly imitating adults, like with the throwing the rabbit on the fire, or the putting her feet up in the ground.
But that's not imitation, darling. That's called transmission. That's how you learn the world.
Okay, whichever way you interpret that, clearly she's one way or another doing what the adults are doing. This was my interpretation. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but that's why I was wondering, was that also your intention? Was that how you wanted us to interpret that, or?
That came from a different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I was doing it, no. When I started editing, yes. When I was doing it, it started with the fact that the girl who plays the mother, it was complicated, so she was only with us for 4 days, because then it was whatever. And she's a dancer, actor, and I guess for me it's difficult, actors, or they have to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this. I know how to deal with animals. I don't know. So at one point, Mary, because I really liked her physicality. I really liked the way, I love her legs, I love the way she walked. It was completely a contrast with the land, because she's very nervous and she has this tension in her body. So I focused on this because to me that was the beautiful thing in her that I could film, because I thought it was beautiful, so I would do it right because I loved it. So I asked her to pick up wood, I asked her to carry things, I asked her to make the bed, I asked her to, and then Marie left, and we did other things, and yeah, at one point I liked the idea that the grandfather was this rock, even if he didn't talk so much, but he's a rock of transmission and a rock. And the mother is this éther, I don't know the word in English. She vanishes, she's fluid.
Ethereal.
But I think you transmit things without knowing. I mean, children are they need food, so they take from everything, everywhere. So even the things you don't give them, they take. And the fact, that, so I started by asking Kelina to pick up wood and take the same path. That's the first thing I did. That was this, and the way she did it with, like picking up that last little thing that was sliding and like stopping it right at the frame like this. It was so delicate. And, then I did it again on other things. The thing with the rabbit, I asked her, I said, okay, you're hungry, you're alone, you have to eat, what do you do? She said, I'm too small. I said, yeah, well, fuck you, you're too small, but think. But I'm too small. And she thought, and then at one point she's, like 2-3 days later, she said, oh, but maybe I could do like we did with the pig. That's it, I gave her a straw, a cloth, and she does her thing. But yeah, I think they do repeat, but it's not a repetition, it's because she does it completely differently, with her own rhythm, with her own sensuality.
Sure, but I mean,
with her
as,
own,
you know, with the context of she's not as, you know, but that's why I view that as, because it's a constant, you see her trying to kind of live an adult, like, you know, again, maybe not, anyway, I think I kind of made my points, I hope, whatever, I think it was kind of, I mean, I'm not criticizing in any way, I was just wondering
No,
how,
but
to
I'm
what
not
degree that was your
open
intention.
to criticize.
Yeah, to show maybe the conflict between the parents, what happened between the parents, or
But I don't
maybe
care
why
about the
mother dies
parents,
in
I
the
care
end.
about her.
Sorry?
I don't care about the parents.
Okay, I thought that her talking that way had something to do with what she had overheard her parents say, maybe something.
Yeah, it's what the mother probably said to her once, you know, of course. I mean, if you have mothers here, I mean, I said that to my son many times, you know. I'm tired of your bullshit, I told him many times. But the thing, you know, this thing of repetition, it's like, she conquers the world, and her way of conquering the world and staying alive is to use the tools that was given to her.
Yeah,
That's
She
it.
does it within her capacity.
You know, I said earlier at the end of the screening, I think, or maybe it was an interview, I don't know. I read stories afterwards about children that were left like this because the parents had a car accident, didn't come home or whatever. And there was this one story that was incredible. It was two brothers. One was 7, one was 4. And the parents had a car accident. And so they didn't come home. And the older brother just went on with life. And the neighbor came at night, and she ran, and it's the small kid who opened the door. And when he opened the door, the older brother, the one who's 7, was saying to his brother, "It's 7:30, you have to go brush your teeth." So the woman didn't even realize the parents weren't there. And she left. And they were alone for 2 days. The brother took him to school, and then fear came, and panic, and tears, and screaming, But it took a while, because this world, they're making it theirs, so they have like their own thing. And we interrupt many times with that.
No, I wanted to, something in the film was not very clear for me, and sometimes I just, your distance from your subject. Sometimes we have very close-ups, sometimes very distance. This choice, it disturbed me. I wouldn't like to have close-ups. No, really. Because that close sort of estranged me from being an observer, which you were, being a director. Because the distance between the subject and yourself is what your comment about the subject in a sense. So for me, it's a question: how did you choose your camera angles and your distance from the subject? It was functional, or you had a point of view?
There's two things. First, because I didn't want to interrupt. I had to build like this little cinema theater space for her to be in it. Also, the fact that I really wanted her size, her body, her full body, in space, in the land, in the nature. Close up, there's when she's on her donkey playing with the fox collar. She doesn't really know if it's a...
Or rabbit, we see a little bit, things like that.
Yeah.
There are some, I don't say that there are a lot, but there are some which, for me, I didn't need, but my personally, I'm talking about person, I need to see
But then
these details.
it's my only sentimentality. It's my
Really?
girl
Yeah,
sentimentality.
okay.
Because when, the rabbit, for example, we have both cameras. So I have a wider, and the close I filmed. And I just die when she, when she goes like this and there's blood and she just takes this. I mean, I'm sorry, I want to see this. Because this is I don't know, there's a sensuality and a careness.
Sure. No, there are some shots, wherever there's a relationship between the child and the mother, we see them fairly close, not close-ups, but close shots. That, we need this intimacy and things like that.
It's intimacy and it's claustrophobia.
Yeah. Then sometimes I thought, why this choice of showing some details which didn't give me any information in that sense, which I am understanding the film. Maybe it's not we're not sharing the same thing. So
because also I think it's also a matter of tenderness towards her.
yeah.
That's why I say it's my feminine sentimentality,
okay.
because it's a way of. I never felt I was observing her. Never. I was always there with her, because first the camera is always at her height, so I'm on my knees in front of this kid, and yeah, sometimes I just need to hug her, I think.
Did she see the movie and
Oh, she
what's
was
her
in her
reaction?
first. As soon as I finished editing, I went to this really small cinema with a red lamp.
Yeah, going to mention
It's an
that.
old cinema in a village from the 50s. It's beautiful. And so we had a screening there, and we were supposed to be, I don't know, like, 20, like us, the families. And everybody came to see it, like, blah, 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 blah. And Kilina, she was sitting on my lap. For the first time, she was whispering. Because now that's really loud. And she commented every shot. Every shot. Like the pig, she was bullshitting and she said, oh, but I knew the pig was dead. And then, everything. Like, even things, there's one thing that, because I started editing with a really great woman, Dominique Aubin. She's an old woman, she's a great editor. And we were editing in my house because I'm lonely. So once she left, my living room is here, my bedroom is here. It's very difficult for me not to go back. And every night I would destroy everything and search for something else. So I would do another timeline, and at one point Dominique said, my love, I really, really love you, but you are going to find your film alone. And I hated her, but then she was right. So when at one point, when you edit and you don't know how to edit, so you go like this on Final Cut. It takes a long time. And for example, when she's on the couch and she's cinema circus, we're quite close up. And then we go like this, and there's the mother and the dog. And me, I know exactly why I took this part, apart from what Karina is saying. And because the mother, she's standing and she does something with her hair like this, I think, and she has her hand and she holds the wall of the house. She holds herself to the wall. And I know nobody saw this. And Kilina, when she watched the film, she was on my lap and said, I think my mother is a little bit scared of me. And she saw everything. After we had another Q&A, because it was like, our neighbors and family, but we just started talking and we got really drunk. And we had lots of pig, again. And this woman started saying, oh, but the mother, is she dead? Is she not dead? And Kilina just looked at her and said, ah, she's dead. So and she's really proud. It's her thing because it was her territory. The mother, Charlene, she came once to my house, the first time I spent time with Kilina, and after 10 minutes she said, I'm leaving. She understood it had to be her thing.
Yes, are you first time in Armenia?
Yes.
And what's your impression? Do you want to shoot Armenian film in Armenia or in France?
I make films, it's not a matter of Armenia or Armenia.
About the land.
But I think there are like,
Okay, do you have a question to about that? The people who were watching the film?
Last question.
Okay.
Your plan